Hi, everyone. I wanted to talk about what makes a workplace toxic part two. I think there's so much that goes into what could possibly make a workplace toxic, but it's really important to be looking out for the signs. They may seem little when you look at the bigger picture, but sometimes these little things add up and it can really give you greater insight into whether or not the workplace is toxic. Number one, I would say, is if you have a manager who is a micromanager. So you're doing your work, you have your assignment, and you're fully capable of working on your own. But for some reason, they don't give you that power to do that. And it can make it very frustrating and not only that, demotivating to where you don't even want to do your work because if you're not even capable of doing that, why would you even try harder? So it can lead to bigger problems. And micromanagers are not actually good people managers. They don't know how to let go of control. They don't know how to actually manage you in a way that's effective. Every employee will handle work differently, and they'll also need different management styles. And if a manager is not able to adapt so that they can give all their employees equal treatment and be able to adapt with the team, then they tend to manage in one way only. And they're not able to learn how to get through to different people. They're not able to share their ideas effectively so that others are able to understand in different ways than what they're capable and comfortable with expressing. So that is one sign if your manager just really is so controlling and you feel like you don't even have autonomy. Another would be that there is no consistent feedback. And what happens is some managers will wait until performance reviews to give any feedback. That's a horrible idea. It's a horrible way to manage. And it shows that they are just not capable of being a real manager or a leader. Managers should be giving feedback throughout the entire year and not just during the performance review season. It's easy to be lazy and complacent to where you actually are not coaching and giving any feedback to employees so that at the end of the year, they kind of just pile on all these different things in the review. Reviews were made so that this doesn't happen, and there should be coaching feedback throughout the entire year. It doesn't typically happen most of the time, and managers are not trained efficiently on how to actually continuously give feedback. You are not given feedback. You're not told what you can work on so that you can improve your performance. And you're given this impossible task at the end of the year when your review comes back negative. That is a really bad sign. Another sign of a toxic workplace would be high turnover. This could be through voluntary self-terminations where an employee decides that the company is just not a fit for them and they leave. Or this could be through attrition, which is just natural. Some people are just not going to perform up to standard, and so they will be let go, or layoffs. So you'll see a lot of the time that there are layoffs, and you do not want to go with a company that historically has a lot of layoffs. If they have a couple layoffs a year, which you will find companies out there that do, definitely that is something to look out for because that shows that they don't manage their organization in a way that is for longevity. They're typically hiring really, really fast and they're not thinking ahead of what headcount is needed and how to keep these people on board. They're just thinking about how to get to rate on certain goals. And so what happens is it creates an overflow of employees and then they have to get rid of them. They have to purge them. And then what will happen is they have to then fill those vacancies. So it's a never-ending cycle. It's a very toxic cycle because nobody wants to go through layoffs multiple times a year. And I have actually experienced this where it's multiple times a year. And people are just on edge at all times. You don't know if your job is going to be affected. And so that is something that you really do need to look out for because a company that is well managed from the top down, so that's the CEO all the way down, will be managed in a way to keep people. They're trying to lower the turnover rate so that they can keep retention high. That's a company that you want to work for. It's a company that looks to keep their employees long term. Hopefully, this helps you to spot some little tiny instances that may not seem like they would really make it a toxic work environment. But if you really think about it, it really does add up, and then you could be in a really bad situation. Just keep an eye out for that. If you're looking for a job, definitely research, make sure that people are feeling comfortable in the organization and that they also feel like there is a place for them